Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, we are going to bring some clarification to the Bitcoin and crypto crash. And I think this is very important because I have some videos coming relating to this because, folks, I am trying to prepare you for what's about to come. And you know what's about to come? As in every cycle, Bitcoin always crashes more than 80% along with the markets. But it's not something that happens instantly. But we're going to get into that. But first, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. And if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and the comment section. Now, Bitcoin is currently sitting at 112,574. The date is September the 5th. Now, in my last major video dealing with the Bitcoin crypto market cycles, I talked about how this is the most important crypto information you need right now. I put together some information from the people that I listen to, and everybody that I am listening to right now is looking for the Bitcoin top, and they're looking for altcoin season to start. And when the altcoin season starts, they're going to be looking for the end. And so in this video entitled Bitcoin Crypto Market Cycle Ending Soon, Bull Run, One Step Ahead, Prepare for Crypto Winter, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Keep you guys one step ahead and prepare for crypto winter, because we've been stacking like for the last 4 years, and I don't want anybody to get left behind like we did in 2021 and 2022 because we were listening to the wrong voices, and specifically prophetic voices that had us holding on to our cryptocurrency because they said God said Bitcoin would reach 100,000 in 2022 and all these other prophetic words about all these crypto tokens that never happened. So in some of this information that I put together for you, like I did in the last video, Bitcoin reached its all-time high in 2013, 17, and 2021. Bitcoin is on a 4-year cycle, and those all-time highs were all reached in quarter 4, right? So quarter 4 starts in October. We're just going by the historical pattern. The historical pattern is the same every 4 years. You normally have a pullback in September before Bitcoin reaches its all-time high. And in each market cycle, Bitcoin dropped 80%. In 2021, Bitcoin went from 69,000 to 15,000. In 2017, Bitcoin went from 20,000 to 3,000. So in every cycle, Bitcoin dropped over 80%, and that was called crypto winter. Now, one thing is that I want to bring up, because I said in that video that we could actually see Bitcoin's all-time high or altcoin season or whatever the case run into next year. And I say that because of the Trump factor. And we still haven't heard anything about the Bitcoin and crypto reserve and all that stuff, like not really anything solid news. The American government is yet to be buying cryptocurrency. Then we have the ETFs for all the different cryptocurrencies, and we have not seen that yet. We do have governments all over the world. Some of them are buying crypto because their laws allow them to. We're seeing more mass crypto adoption. We're seeing the mainstream media pumping up cryptocurrency just like it did before. So, but when it comes to September, we're going to see some volatility. To me, it doesn't really matter because either I have stop losses put in or I have my cryptocurrency staking right now. And I'm just going to keep adding until I get the signals to start selling. So I have this chart here. I've added some pricing and things on this so you can get a better picture of what I'm trying to tell you and explain to you what the crypto crash really is. Now, it's not something that's going to happen instantaneously. And I'm just going by history without any major black swan events, that's going to take crypto down to zero. Now, one thing you have to understand is that the altcoin season historically only lasts no more than 40 days. Now, it could last longer because of the Trump effect, so I want to make sure that is clear too as well, because people are going to think that altcoin season is going to last for months and months, and it's not going to end up being that way. So on this chart, it's 1 year from top to bottom. So it took Bitcoin 1 year from its all-time high to reach a low of 15,600. So it went from 69,000 to 15,000 in 1 year. And I want you to see how Bitcoin in the markets actually came down. right? And it was a staggered motion. It's not something that happened instantly. And I remember being stuck in a lot of our coins because we were told by individuals that Bitcoin was going to go back up to 100,000 and so on. So you can see here in November of 2021, Bitcoin reached its high of 69,000. Then it began to drop down into the 50,000. Then it went back up to around the 60,000 mark. As time goes on, we had a drop down to the 40,000 pretty quickly. And of course, it rebounded into the 50,000 area up to, you can see here, 52K. Right? As time goes on, then Bitcoin dropped to the 40,000 range, and then to the 30,000 range, and then back up to the $45,000 range. Right? So a lot of people were thinking Bitcoin is back when it really wasn't. And you can see the volatility. Then from the 45,000 area, we saw a drop down to 32,000, back up to the 40,000 area, and then it went up to 47,000, right? So that's from November to April. We've seen all that volatility. Saw Bitcoin go from 47,000 to 40,000, and then within less than a month, it went from the 40,000 area to the 28,000. So 32,000, then down to 20,000, down to 17,000, eventually back up to 25,000. So now we're between November and August. And then from there, a slow decline down to 15,600 that was kicked off from the FTX scandal. Now, when did Bitcoin reach 124,000? In 2025. So you see how long it took Bitcoin just to get from 15,600 to 124,000. We're talking about 3 years. If the cycle is to repeat itself, and you're going to have somewhat these black swan events because companies are not going to be able to survive the crypto crash just like it did before. They're going to go out of business. You got companies now, stock companies that are involved in cryptocurrency heavily. So it's going to affect the stock market too. So when Bitcoin does go on its 80% drop over a year, right? Every year, it took a year just in every cycle to reach its bottom. There's going to be a lot of companies that fail. And not just crypto companies, but stock companies too, who bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin. Because when Bitcoin drops from, let's just say it does go up to 133,000 and it does drop 80%. We're talking about the $20,000 to $30,000 range. And then we're not even discussing some of the black swan events that we have been talking about. So 2017, we saw Bitcoin drop from 20,000 to 3,000. In 2021, we saw it drop from 69,000 to 15,000. That is a historical pattern. We had the Luna crash. We had FTX, multiple exchanges, global exchanges that collapsed. Some exchanges took everybody's money. So this is important, very, very important when that time comes, because a lot of people, whether you sell or not, and your exchange collapses, you better make sure that the exchange that you're on is going to be strong enough to make it through the next crypto winter. Right? And so I wanted to put this out there before my next video relating to the Bitcoin pattern and altcoin season. Now, that's not to say that an individual crypto can't make a run when the Bitcoin and crypto markets are in a decline. Now, this is what has happened during this time period. You're going to have a lot of new meme coin launches that will take off and crash. Take off and crash, right? And the whole community is trying to get in. You're going to see a lot of that during that time period too as well. Will crypto winter last as long? Will Bitcoin recover faster? Because those are the questions that are asked because we have the Trump effect with the ETFs and the crypto and Bitcoin reserve and all of that, right? So it's very possible that we could see a quicker recovery according to the historical pattern than we would see normally. But I don't know. That all remains to be seen. But if we go by historical patterns, folks, do you really want to be holding on to your cryptocurrency when all the big wigs and the whale traders, they're selling off because they believe Bitcoin has reached its all-time high, when all that liquidity is being sucked out of the markets? Are you going to be the one holding on to all of your cryptocurrency because you believe some other YouTuber who's just trying to get views, or you're listening to the wrong prophetic voices? That's going to be very important, right? So take heed to the historical patterns that have always taken place with Bitcoin. And it's not to say God won't do this or do that, or you have the Trump effect and all that stuff. It can extend things. But you know what, folks? All the whales, financial experts, they're all looking for the same thing. They're all looking for the top, and they're all waiting to sell. And there's not going to be liquidity in the markets when they begin to sell off. And to be honest with you, folks, I foresee a lot of people not selling off because of all these different voices that are going to be telling you to hold. I am going to relate this to the fall of the stock market. And it's not to say that the stock market is going to crash instantly either. The stock market goes through cycles as well. The difference is that the stock market and the crypto markets are tied and interconnected more than they ever have before. So that is the big difference. So we're looking for the dinar revaluation and some other things. And what people don't understand is, according to the prophetic word, the dinar revaluation is for the restoration of the world. It's not going to happen and then the banks are going to confiscate your money, as Brandon Biggs says, right? So he's leading you on a different path than what we have been following for years. The Dow is going to at some point go below 20,000. It's going to experience its 80% crash. And then the dinar is going to revalue, and it's going to be provision for the world. And no banks are going to confiscate your money after the dinar revaluation. I'm going to do my best to try to keep everybody updated when Bitcoin is going to reach its all-time high and during the altcoin season. But you guys still have to follow some of the people that I'm following. You need to watch those videos. You need to learn for yourself. So that's all that I have for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless.